it was more of a collective series of moments that coalesced. And it came about probably 2020, the early part of 2021. The phrase Seeds of the Crossroads came about in 2018 or so. It was written on a big black piece of plywood on our solar panel array at the Enchanted Oak Farm in Scotland.
Who wrote it?
I wrote it. It was a phrase that came to mind while I was downstairs in the Mythbusters room doing some work in that space. And I don't remember who I was listening to, but that's where the phrase came up. And I just wrote it down there, and the kids had their sidewalk chalk. There was buckets of sidewalk chalk, so it was written on there, and I think it was written on there in pink chalk. So that's where it came to. I'd like to say much the way evolution has, because the influences on this and its journey and progression are going to be many. And it's part of it's going to be the people that we encounter on the way are going to insist or assist, not insist. Some of them might insist, but it'll assist in its evolution. It'll be organic. As what influenced my journey, my place as a polymath. I think one, my own brain functionality. And the fact that there's far too much in the world that's a curiosity for me, and I actually despise the fact that my father spent so many years working for a corporation that in some ways seemed to stifle him and his existence. And I also grew up in a rural part of Connecticut in the 70s, and I was always amazed at farmers with regards to their diversity of knowledge and experience. And I think those are some of the contributing factors that brought me to that space of being, the quintessential Renaissance man, so to speak. I think my greatest strengths lie in my willingness and my curiosity to explore. I will sometimes say to folks I'm a bit like a Tigger and a Labrador. My attention span can sometimes be short. But in a lot of cases, if it's something that strongly resonates, I'll return back to it. So I think that's what a curiosity for all things life. There's too much around us that's being lost, forgotten, and I love to just kind of be connected to some of these components. What I would like to elicit from the guests on the podcast is a raw, authentic conversation. A true look into the things that have made them tick, and in some cases the things that have set them off their rails and the things that have brought them back. Just an opportunity to dive into who they are and get up close and intimate with it. What I would like to see conveyed to the audience is that the notion of a linear existence, it's just a bold-faced lie. And that we're all unique people, and we've got an extensive amount of embodied knowledge and things that we just haven't even experienced yet. I want all of us that dance in the periphery of the mainstream, all of us that surf the waters off the island of misfit toys, to have a place and a perspective and an understanding, and for them to have an opportunity to speak to who they are. So one, they can reinforce it for themselves, and the people that are part of their lives can get an understanding. And ultimately, hopefully it touches someone else for them to believe in themselves if they're having a moment where they're doubting who they are or why they're here. If I had the ability to give advice to 7 billion people, breathe and tune into your own frequency, Kenneth. The best advice I've ever been given. Breathe and stay the course. and it's not something I've exercised very well, and it's an ongoing practice for me. My last meal, I don't think I could put it into one particular item, because over the years there's been a lot of things that have touched my life. There'd be some pumpernickel toast with some orange marmalade to honor my pop. There'd be some scrambled eggs with cheese and bacon and cream and a popover to honor Francis Brooks Smith from the Bee and Thistle Inn. There'd be a creme brulee of some sort, some variety, some fort. I suppose you could have creme brulees in your fort. There'd be oysters in a variety of preparations. Raw, some Rockefeller, and some barbecued. And there'd be a hanger steak. And there'd be a great big heaping pile of butter, cheese, and some sourdough bread. And I can't rule out olives. They've got to be a part of that party as well. How I hope people remember me is as a Tigger and a Labrador, because I think they both embody the spirit of fun and spontaneity. And a large part of my life has been wrapped up in and around fun and spontaneity. So viewers can find out more about this podcast at seedsofthecrossroads.com and all the major podcast platforms that are present, and any future ones that should evolve. For everybody that stops in and stops by, thanks for coming by, and hopefully something resonates with you and you take it away with you. And enjoy. Be true to yourself. And check back often.